Sometimes I'm so busy helping to show people magic that I forget that I'm actually a magician myself. I do. It's strange. Had some very curious circumstances, some strange magic that occurred. This is also a talk and why. People are like, why do you drink a lot, Zen? You drink a lot of alcohol, a lot of flame water. I do it for your entertainment. I don't necessarily even like drinking. I don't even. I'd rather be completely 100% absolutely sober, but that would be. See, I drink to be a little dumber than I am, to be a little more just lucid and just to take off the edge of consciousness of absolute complete awareness because that's like it's like a cheat code to be always sober, and it's also entertaining for all of you because you get to hear all my funny stories of things that the going ons about my reality and everyone else is around me and the strange things and the fun things and the and the things that occur. So earlier today, funny enough, I've told this story before, and this is more of a lengthening to the story and giving you a little more insight into something. There's a friend of mine. His name is David. Um, he he's he's a Lion of Judah. It's very funny. He plays the drums. He plays the bongo. He plays. I mean, he's a powerful creature. And every time that I burn Palo Santo, the 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 bark which means Hollywood, the Hollywood bark, Palo Santo, he shows up at my door as if I made a phone call, as if I pushed a button. He'll show up. This has happened. I don't know, four out of 7 times that I've seen him. I burnt. There was no like. At first, it was just I was burning, and I was like, oh. Then I noticed like, oh, here's David. Here's my buddy right here. Knock on my door, whatever. Got a little shoot the shit. You know, trade things. Offer him oils and information about the world and whatever. But it's so funny. He shows up every time I do this. And today, when he showed up, he came through like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, oh, I was kind of getting out of bed or whatever, and um, as I'm sitting there talking to him on the porch, I say, I'm gonna call you Pappy. I'm gonna call you Sloppy Pappy or something. I said something that was funny because he was just, he's just a funny dude. He just, I don't even. What did he do? I don't remember what exactly. I was like, you funny dude, like Sloppy Pappy. I do. Just not but 10 seconds later, this old black man's walking down the street. He looks up at me. He says, "Yo, Pappy." He just looked at me and said, "Yo, Pappy, I know who you are. I seen you down the street the other day." Like, I'm like, how very funny, how very interesting. And then I go to the store just a little while ago, and I, for whatever reason, the two people that were working at the store, they were speaking Arabic. I think, maybe not Arabic. I can't be certain of the language. But then he just looks at me and goes, "That's Allah right there." He just stared me dead in the face and called me Allah. I was like, oh, that's funny. The last video I was making was completely about arm, leg, arm, head. Allah, the God. Rakim Allah. Ra. How very... I have these interesting experiences that, you all get a little piece of my reality and the funniness and all of the things and the ways that I just kind of try to help and teach and show things. And I oftentimes forget the fact that I know how to do this. That's why I'm teaching you all how it's done. And the power that I have inside of me to create grand amounts of magic. I forget sometimes. I just, because I'm so much into, hey, here, I'm in the fire for you. I'm walking through the fire and just going, here we go. Here, it's entertainment. Let me entertain your mind. You walk into a store, you go through the entrance, you've become entranced. And so I let you enter through the entrance of my mind, which is fire. So it amuses me of the silliness and the way that I interact with the larger world to facilitate some sort of consciousness for everybody else. Because most people don't know they're magicians. Most people are literally dead to the world in such a way that they need like flame in their system, they're in their mind, in their being. They just haven't gotten that spark. And so oftentimes I spark things in many different ways. Spark conversation, spark confusion, silliness, weirdness, strangeness, absurdities. But always getting back to self. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. I'm teaching this because I do this. So maybe that's what happened on the eclipse when I just stood there, like just laid there on this giant gold mandala. It was huge. Me and my best friend in the world just laid on this gold mandala and stared at the sun for about, I don't know, I was probably like, the totality, I probably looked at the sun for about an hour and change, directly at it. And I don't know what happened. I don't know how it occurred. I do know that the last eclipse was just a little while before I was birthed through the canal, into this spacesuit. 1979. It was a certain number of days after the eclipse that my birthday happened, and it corresponds to something very interesting. Yeah, so we'll talk soon, y'all.